Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and the first half of this video is going to be about the new DLC that's dropping. I know it's been reported on before, but I think I've got stuff to add that I haven't heard anywhere else. And then the second half is going to be how to play Sharpshooter on this map. So, yeah. Anyway, sit down, settle in, here we go. So anyway, this is the leaked multiplayer map. I'm going to leave it big for a second so you can see it. You can see there are 4 multiplayer maps: Hydro, Grind, Downhill, and Mirage. Alright, so far all is good. You'll notice, by the way, some snow levels, which, like, me, every time I see snow level I think it's terrible. But for other people, sometimes they like snow levels. Also, there's a zombie level called Die Reese. So it's not a replay, I guess, of Der Riese. It's Die Reese. It's something different, a little play on it, how clever, whatevs. And then finally, the Peacekeeper SMG. That's the new thing. We've never had a weapon as a DLC like attribute before, and I thought I'd talk about it. So the challenge of introducing a weapon, in this case the Peacekeeper SMG, a submachine gun, to a game is that someone's going to have it, other people aren't. I talked to David Vonderhaar before the game came out, and there were a couple of us YouTubers there, and we're like, you know, elbow to the ribs, nudge, nudge, virtually, because we were actually playing online. Which weapon's the best? And he honestly didn't know, right? The game developers were like, you know, mathematically, they should all be the same, right? You know, they should all work equally well. They each have their disadvantages and advantages, and it's going to take a little bit for the game to get out there in the wild for us to see which weapons are really the best ones. That's what happens, right? It's not until they unleash the millions of us, that they really know which weapons are the most popular and which ones are the community, I guess, you know, favorites and most hated, because I think they tend to be the same thing. I want to talk about playlists. I once did a video on how matchmaking really works, and that talked about playlists too, annotation on the screen if you're curious about it. Playlists tie into this notion of how people with this gun are mostly going to be facing other people with this gun. So here's the deal. When you select a playlist, you've probably seen before stuff like, hey, you can't play with this guy because you're in different versions of the playlist. Well, you know, with DLC, you play with other people who have that DLC. That's why when you jump in like to a lobby, like no one gets booted out when that map comes up. That's what they did in World at War, but they don't do that anymore. Now, you know, everyone who's playing in that lobby has access to that map, and they divide people before the game even starts, not after that map comes up in rotation. So I don't know if that's making sense, but yeah, you only play with other people who have the DLC, therefore all of you should also have that SMG. Now, it brings up the question, what happens if you have the DLC, your friend doesn't, and now you're playing in the same playlist? That is the only time in which this, you know, weapon thing is going to be a problem. So it shouldn't be terribly widespread, but that's not that uncommon of a situation either. The one time that this can happen is, you know, you jump in your with your friend, you've got the Peacekeeper SMG, and worst case scenario, you know, it's this most super awesome gun ever to exist in the game. It's the new MP40, and you know, now there's this issue that you have it, and because you joined your friend's lobby, maps with this gun aren't going to come up. No one else in the lobby is going to be having the DLC, and you'll have that advantage. So it is conceivable that it is a minor problem, because, you know, you can jump in. If you use a friend who doesn't have the DLC, then you'll have guns that they don't. But it shouldn't be a widespread problem. That's the deal. And hopefully it's not a problem at all. Hopefully the gun is really balanced, and, you know, in a perfect world in these games, like, every gun is perfect for some situation. And, you know, whether that be up close, far away, or whatever. Anyway, now I'm going to talk about playing Sharpshooter. To me, the way to play Sharpshooter is to figure out where the best spot on the map is. Like in Cargo, I have 2 spots on either end. One in the buildings and one by the cargo. I guess that's everywhere, but, you know, all the way on the water side by the cargo. Let's see. Oh, is it Express, the one with the train on it? There's a overhead bridge at the end of the map by CDOM that I like a lot, and then there's a room upstairs right in the middle of the map on the side of it. Here, this is my favorite spot to be. This is what I'm trying to point out. This is how you work this map on Sharpshooter. Some might call it camping, some might call it spawn camping, I don't know, but there are a couple spawns. There's one to the left there, there's one by the boat I was just looking at, and then there's one in this corner. People tend not to spawn when you're looking right at that spot, but you know they can look away and then pop up there, you know, right after you get there. And that's how I play this map. I just sort of rotate back and forth. I'm looking for these guys. Oh, lots of traffic here, but I go back and forth, looking for kills because this is where the traffic is, and I feel like I have this high area and this ability to like withdraw. See, he probably just spawned there. The ability to withdraw behind concrete if I need to. And this is how I win sharpshooter on this map. And I thought I'd share it with you. There's a spot like this on every map. If you identify it, then you can win some games. And that's that. So anyway, I'm pretty psyched about the DLC. I don't think there'll be a major problem with, you know, people using a new gun against people who don't have it because of the way the playlists work. But it might be a minor problem. And there's a little sharpshooter tip. I hope you liked the video.